That's good. I'm glad. So glad. But now, my own heart won't calm down. Can you hear it, Espoir? It's beating so fast. So fast. Because of you. Oh no! Help! Help! Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Espoir David, and I haven't been this excited since the day I forced Genichimaru to fictionally, illegally marry me. Because the full game of Pulsatio Cordis is out. This is a game that I played the demo of nearly 2 years ago, and now the full game has come out, and I can't wait to play it. So let's get started. I recently moved back to the town where I spent my childhood. We've only been back for a few months. My parents ran into financial troubles, so we sold our house and moved back here. I can't say I'm complaining. The city has its own ups and downs, and to be honest, I really couldn't get along with a lot of the kids at my school. It feels so weird to how everything's changed since I was gone. Many of the shops and buildings I used to visit as a kid are gone, torn down or replaced. Aw. More importantly, there's the people at my new school. I remember many of them from primary. I was even friends with some of them. Of course, you can't leave for 8 years, come back, and then expect everyone to acknowledge you like they would have back then. The excitement of a new student in our year group fizzled out quickly. Soon, I went from being coddled by all the popular kids to barely even existing. So now, I usually sit in a secluded corner of the school field, doing my best not to make it obvious that I'm sitting alone. Sometimes, I'll talk to someone in class and get them to let me join their friend group, but it never lasts long. Honestly, it feels kind of demoralizing. It's not as if I'm being outright bullied, but that almost feels better than just being ignored. I usually try to stay out of people's way, but when there's trouble, I can't help but want to get involved. Sure, maybe I just want the clout that could come from exposing some conspiracy to blow up the school, or some secret student-led drug trafficking ring. But alas, I'm not that lucky. At one point, when I tried to defend a junior who was being harassed for the despicable crime of blocking off someone's locker, I was paid back dearly. They threatened to spread rumors about me all over the school about my opinion on moving back. People would think I was shallow and spoiled, preferring the big city to our quaint little town, that I was calling it a crap hole. It would have ruined my reputation. But someone saved my life. His name was Liev Latane, head boy of our school. Friendly to everyone, easygoing, polite, everyone at school looks up to him, and not just because of his personality. He's also, like, the smartest guy there, and according to a lot of people, insanely attractive. Myself included. But that's beside the point. One day, I approached him in the hallway. I felt nervous, but desperate. The people targeting me had blackmailed me into not reaching out to any faculty for help. I didn't know what else I could do. But his kind smile helped me calm down, even if only a little bit. And so I told him about what was happening to me. All I expected was advice. I knew Liev was a busy guy, but he told me not to worry, and that he would take care of it. A few days later, I found out a further investigation was carried out. They discovered that the bullies had been smoking on school grounds, which led to them being expelled. Liev hadn't just taken care of the problem, he made sure that it would never spring up again. He was the first person in school to really care about me. I think that must have been the day I got a crush on him. No, I know what the MC doesn't know, but I'm not gonna say it. I left a letter in his locker today. It's probably gonna be in vain, but best to be honest with my feelings, right? If he rejects me or doesn't respond, oh well, I can cry about it over the weekend and then get over it. I'm used to that kind of treatment by now anyway. Huh? I turned on my phone and saw a new message from a number I didn't recognize. Unknown. Hi, is this Espoir David? It's Liev from school. Les gasp! My heart skipped at the message before I shook my head to clear it. It could just be a prank, I told myself. This was way too good to be true. I mentally debated whether or not to answer it. Eventually, curiosity got the better of me, and I typed out a cautious response. Yeah. I don't want to sound rude, but how did you get my number? There were two possibilities here. Either Liev had found my attempt to confess hilarious and he was getting his friends to prank text me, or it really was him. I found myself wanting to be optimistic that it was the latter. From what I knew of him, he seemed far too mature for that kind of stuff anyway. His reply came within seconds of mine. You gave me your number in your letter today, My face flushed at the reminder of that stupid letter, of the fact that I'd given him my number on the off chance that he would actually respond. I'd been alternating between severely regretting it and feeling relieved that it was off my chest, and now... Oh, right, lol. Sorry, I was just a little worried. It's okay. I should apologize too. It's always weird when you get random messages from people who aren't in your contacts. Yeah, haha, but it's okay. You can't see the fact that I'm panicking through my texts. Smiley face. Was Liev actually using an emoticon in his text? I didn't know why, but I found that kind of cute. He'd always struck me as the proper texter type, always using correct grammar and spelling. As I sat there doing my best not to fawn over the fact that freaking Liev Latane was texting me, my phone pinged with another message. So, are you free tomorrow? What? Was he serious? Was Liev freaking Latane actually asking me out? Quadruple question marks? Wait, but I asked first. That would make it him accepting my confession. Wait, what if he meant something else by that? What if he just wanted to hang out as friends? What if... I stopped myself before I could go on a ramble of paranoid thoughts. This was the most popular guy at school, for God's sake. The guy I'm currently crushing on. I had to take the opportunity before it disappeared. But first, still in a mild state of disbelief, I made sure to confirm that it was indeed a date. Yeah, I am. Just to check, this is a date, right? Not just a hangout? Hey, call me overly paranoid, but I wanted to know now rather than later to save the disappointment. Okay, me. I briefly worried that he would take a long time to respond, but mere moments later my phone pinged again. Of course it's a date, silly. Why wouldn't it be? Aww, this is the greatest day in the universe. I can't believe it. I'm actually going on a date with Liev Latane. Get the girls, have them panic with me. The next day, I'm finally here. After a 10-minute walk from the station, I cross the road until I'm in front of a big gate with an archway. Liev and I decided to go to the amusement park for our date, an hour's train ride away. Our date. No matter how many times I repeat those two words to myself, I still can't quite believe that they're true. This is really happening. I thought that the train ride would give me time to get myself together, but somehow it only made things worse. It only made me think of more ways this date could go wrong, and my family's teasing remarks before I left the house didn't help either. What if I accidentally spill something on him while we're having lunch? What if he makes a joke and I ugly laugh? What if I throw up on him while we're on a ride? What if... You get the idea. As of now, I'm having a lot of second thoughts about this. My feet move my body as if on autopilot. I walk through the entrance, scanning the area for Liev. Speaking of Liev, I finally got around to actually adding him to my contacts, under his actual name rather than unknown. He'd sent me a cute text this morning, and I'm a little ashamed to admit that I read it over and over again on the train. Good morning. I'm very excited for our date. Smiley face. See you soon. Taking a deep breath, I do my best to calm the racing beat of my heart. I can't have him see me panic over a date like a love-struck schoolgirl. Why not? He'd probably think it's adorable. I look around, doing my best not to make it obvious that I'm looking for someone, searching for a hand waving me over, listening for a voice calling my name. Something. It dawns on me that I have no idea what he looks like outside of a school setting. I consider sending him a text to ask where he is. I turn on my phone, seeing a new message from him. Hey, I can see you. Look beside the leftmost ticket booth. I look towards the spot he pointed out and see someone waving at me. I walk over. I do my best not to think about my still racing heart. As I get closer, relief washes over me briefly at the realization that the person in front of me was, indeed, the person I'd expected to meet. But then the relief is replaced by a crushing nervousness. There he is. Ah! Liev Latane, the most popular guy at school. And my date with him had officially begun. Hey, Espoir, what's up? I'm not gonna survive this. You'll do fine. What do I say? I'm good, how are you? Anxiety quick time events. I'm good. How are you? I'm great, now that you're here. The pounding in my chest relaxes a bit. It's nice to know that he seems just as excited to see me as I am him. So, how was your trip? Did you take the train? Yeah, it was good. If I could drive, I would have driven, but oh well. What about you? Do you drive? Yeah, I got my full recently. Man, already? I don't even have my restricted yet. You know, I can drive you home if you want. That way you won't have to pay for the fare back. Eh? Just like that? He's offering to drive me home? I'm tempted to take the offer, but imagining being in a car with him, just the two of us, for at least half an hour. Too much. Too much. Besides, it's too early to say whether or not he'll want to go through with that by the end of the day. If I'm really unlucky, he might even just ditch mid-date. Christ, the mere thought of it is bringing sweat to my palms. Part of me knows that it's irrational to be so cautious that I need to consider every possible thing that could go wrong, but I can't help it. It's not every day the head boy of your school agrees to go on a date with you. Subconsciously, I rub my palm against my leg. Are you okay? Yeah, just a little nervous? This is the first time I've ever been on a date. Don't worry about it. It's mine too. It's a little surprising to hear that from someone so idolized by the school, even though I already knew about the rumors. Though I'm curious to know more about why he picked me of all people, I decide that that's a matter best left for later. We're still technically standing outside the amusement park. By now, we must look a little silly loitering about. So I point to the ticket booth, gesturing for him to follow. Come on, the park's a-waitin'. I think about taking his hand, but the very idea almost makes me combust. Instead, we walk together to the ticket booth. I pull out my wallet, intending to pay for mine myself, but Liev stops me, shielding my hand with his credit card. Uh-huh. You don't need to do that. I can get my own ticket. But Liev shakes his head. No, it's okay. You did ask me out, so it's only fair. I'm about to argue his logic. Yeah, that does seem a bit off logic. But he smiles reassuringly at me, as if to say that it's no big deal. Sensing that he's not going to budge, I shrug and tuck my wallet safely back into my bag. Part of me feels relieved that I'm going to be saving money today. The clerk hands us our tickets. Sweet. Have a good date, you two. We will, thank you. Why did I say that? 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 Oh, wait. Oh, I guess I can count that as a win. I saw the head boy blush. Tee! The garden is gorgeous. Rose bushes line the pebbled pathway, and archways made of greenery and flowers greet us as we stroll past. I'm feeling better and calmer than earlier. The sight of the pretty flowers also helps. Liev and I haven't really been talking, and honestly, I'm fine with that for the moment. Sometimes it's just nice to take in your surroundings quietly. Inevitably, someone does speak, and it's Liev.
Are you feeling better?
Yeah, sorry, I just get like this sometimes.
It's all right. You have nothing to apologize for.
His words are nice to hear. I let my shoulders relax as I smile. Thank you. I let my gaze drift to the rose bushes, unsure of what else to say. It's quiet for a little longer. I worry that it's starting to become awkward for him. Thankfully, he's the one to start up conversation again.
So, how's school been going?
I suppressed the urge to snort. Please. We finally reached the weekend, and you want to talk about school?
Well, it's kind of my job, isn't it? To represent the school?
Well, yeah, but you're off duty. It's the weekend. Surely there are better things we can talk about.
Fine, you're off the hook. For now.
Scary. The big bedhead boy is abusing his privileges on a poor, defenseless student.
Hey, you've had your fun. No need to rub salt in the wound.
We share a laugh at that little jest. It feels good, sharing such a light moment with someone I'd seen as so intimidating before.
That was really nice, Espoir. I haven't laughed like that in a while.
Why? Is the great Liev Latane too high and mighty for even a little chuckle? I had meant for my comment to be a light, teasing jab, but the sudden frown on his face makes my mouth clamp shut. I rub my forearm subconsciously. Crap, sorry, did I go too far?
No, it's not that. You are right. I've been way too high-strung over the past few weeks, trying to manage everything going on.
My heart sinks to my stomach. I should have known better than to insult him so casually, even if I only meant it as a joke. I'm sorry. I didn't mean what I said.
I know. It's okay. Can we sit down for a minute? My head is killing me.
Sure. We head over to the nearest bench. Liev sits down, and I follow, sitting a little away from him to give him space. He glances at me with a strangely disappointed look, but says nothing. We sit in silence together for a few minutes. I want to say something, but I worry that he's not in the mood for a chat. Yet I can't help but be even more worried about what he could be going through. What if holding it in was the reason for him feeling so down? I knew more than anything about how that felt. So I take the plunge and ask him the question. Liev, do you want to talk about it? He glances at me, looking surprised. He doesn't answer right away, probably trying to gather his words. It occurs to me that he probably doesn't get to do that often. Being head student required that you always looked and acted to your best. Someone who was too open and complained about their problems a lot wouldn't exactly give the school a good look.
I think I'm just a little stressed.
A little? He sighs, defeated.
Okay, maybe a lot.
Of course he was under a lot of stress. Aside from being head boy, he was the leader of 2 clubs and a UN youth rep. If I were in his position, I wouldn't even be able to function under the crushing pressure. I think of what to say in response, something to help ease his burden. I'm here to listen, if you want to tell me about it. It's not a guarantee that I can help, and I feel bad about it, but I also have no idea what it's like to be in a position of leadership, let alone several. I can only hope that by listening, he'll be able to unload any worries plaguing his mind.
It's just, a lot is going on right now, especially since we're heading towards the end of the year. I have so much to do, so much to think about. We have an athletics tournament coming up soon, and I've pretty much been in charge of training since the co-leader has been slacking off. There's a competition coming up for the debate team too, and we've all been training extra hard so that we can take the cup home again this year. And next weekend I have a meeting for UN Youth, so I'll have to get up early and drive a few hours to get to the venue. all on top of studying for external exams and applying for scholarships. It almost feels too much. Sometimes I just want to curl up in bed and stop coming to school.
I knew he was stressed, but until now, I had no idea just how stressed. God, my troubles seem so minuscule compared to his. His schedule must be crazy packed, and he must have forgone at least a few commitments to be able to make it today. I'm really sorry that you have to go through that. Have you been able to talk to anyone else about it? Friends? Family? He must have at least some support system he can count on to be able to handle so much stress. To my surprise, Liev shakes his head.
The people in the student council have their own things to worry about, and I'm not really close with anyone in my extended family.
Huh? What about your parents?
They haven't been much help. This is kind of the bare minimum they expect from me.
So in other words, Liev has tiger parents that encourage his overachiever behavior. How wonderful. That's a little screwed up. I get that they're your parents and they only want to see you succeed, but can't they do anything to help? Maybe let you see a therapist? With Liev's parents apparently being a renowned psychiatrist and lawyer, I was sure that they had to be rolling in dough. A therapist should be a small price to pay for the sake of their son's mental health.
It's not that simple.
Huh?
My parents are both workaholics. They never really have time to spend with me, especially recently, since they both went away on business.
Okay, the situation was a little more complicated than I thought. I knew that therapy wasn't the be-all, end-all solution to things, but from the stories I read online, it was a step in the right direction. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to assume.
No, it's okay. It's not exactly a situation with a single concrete solution.
Still, you shouldn't have to shoulder all of that by yourself. It's not healthy. Real rich coming from the girl who's hiding her anxiety from her parents. But this isn't about me. It's about Liev and his problems. I'll tell you what, if nothing else, I'm here for you. You can talk to me about whatever's bothering you. It's a good thing we have each other's numbers now, eh? Normally, I'd be a little more apprehensive to say that to someone I barely knew, but Liev had been so kind, accommodating my tendency to overthink things and reassuring me that I had nothing to be sorry for. I wanted to repay him in some way, even if I wouldn't always know what to do. I wanted him to know that I would always be willing to lend a listening ear.
Thank you, Espoir. You're the first person to say that to me.
Really? Haven't any of your friends ever said that they'll be there for you?
Yeah, but you're the first person to actually try to discuss my problems. The people on the student council usually go for the toxic positivity route, saying that I just need to cheer up and stuff, that life only gets tougher as we get older.
Well, dang, maybe you need to get some new friends. Ah, yes, I'll just calm down, thanks so much. My anxiety is now cured. Liev cracks up, laughing at my joke. I find myself joining him. The sound of his laughter contagious. I'm glad I managed to make him smile like that. It looks different, more genuine than the polite ones he gives people at school. Come to think of it, Liev is acting more relaxed right now than he usually does. He's usually so prim and proper, even with his approachable demeanor. But I shrug it off as just him being different outside of school. Perhaps this was how he acted around his friends.
Hey, Espoir, what you said earlier about getting new friends, I think I'll take that suggestion. So, how about being my new best friend?
I'm dumbfounded by his straightforwardness. What? Liev Latane, the most popular guy at school, wants me to be his best friend? A deep flush spreads across my cheeks. As if this week wasn't crazy enough already, in the span of a few days, I'd gone from a nobody to becoming the first person in our senior year to date the head boy.
Is that a yes?
Yes, of course. But, isn't it a little late to ask me to be your friend? I mean, we're literally on a date together. A romantic one.
Stop teasing me, Espoir. Please. Don't provoke the great Liev Latane, or I might just have to tell on you. I snored at his ridiculous threat.
Oh, dear me, please don't. Anything but that.
Liev and I dissolve into another fit of laughter. The atmosphere is at last light once again, all worries temporarily forgotten. Hey, Espoir?
Yeah?
Thank you for hearing me out, for listening to my problems. I really do appreciate it.
While the sincerity in his voice is also appreciated, it causes all sorts of warm and fuzzy feelings to flutter about inside me. It's no problem.
Liev reaches into his pocket to check his phone. It's almost lunchtime. Want to go find somewhere to eat?
Yep, I'm starving.
And so we leave the garden, him with, hopefully, a clearer mind, and me with a spring in my step. I've got a boyfriend and a best friend. The restaurant we settled on was a quaint building that served Italian cuisine. When we step inside, the smell of freshly baked dough hits my nose, a wonderful aroma that makes my stomach growl.
Oops, pardon me.
Liev merely smiles at my antics. The menu pretty much only has pizza or pasta options available, with a few yummy-looking dessert options. Hey, Espoir, what are you going to eat?
Good question. I have no idea.
Just like me, huh? There's so many options.
Pizza or pasta? Pizza.
Ooh, margarita pizza.
Carne pizza.
Verdura pizza. Pepperoni, the classic. I like meat pizza.
I guess I'll get a carne pizza.
Sounds good. I'll get the same.
I feel flattered that Liev is imitating me. Well, either that, or he just happened to want the same thing I did. Though, there's still the issue of the price. I know I have money left over from this week's paycheck, but knowing how they like to gouge prices at places like this...
I'll cover the bill. You don't have to worry.
What? Seriously, you don't have to.
Don't worry about it. Honestly, I want to treat you.
I know that he probably gets a hefty allowance from his parents, but I still feel bad taking advantage of my date like this. Well...
You know what? Sometimes you need to let people take care of you, so, go ahead, Buki.
All right.
Great. Besides, I think he gets really mad if I don't.
As we place the order, guilt begins to settle in the pit of my stomach. I hadn't wanted to make Liev take care of everything, but he had insisted that it was all right, so I had accepted the offer. Though he seems to glow as we finish ordering and wait for someone to show us to our seats, it doesn't seem like the idea of paying for everything bothered him at all. He catches my worried gaze and flashes me a reassuring smile. A waiter soon ushers us to a table right by the windows. It gives us a nice view of outside, even if the crowded attractions and rides aren't exactly poetry material. We sit there in silence for a little while. I think of Liev's forlorn expression from earlier, when he'd poured out his feelings for what was probably the first time in a while. Maybe he still has those troubles on his mind. He hasn't tried to make small talk since we ordered our food. Gah, maybe I should have accepted his offer. I probably look like a gold digger at this point. I can't let him wallow in those thoughts. I have to distract him somehow. With those thoughts in mind, I open my mouth to speak. Hey, are you feeling any better? A non-response. He must still be a little hung up on the earlier topic. I try to come up with something to say that'll distract him, something nice and hopeful. So, what are your plans after graduation? People were usually eager to talk about their post-graduation plans, right? It was the point at which they weren't obligated to follow a set path anymore. Some talked about going to their dream university, others of taking paid apprenticeships, others of taking a gap year to travel overseas. But only when the words had left my lips did I realize that maybe Liev might be the exception. What if his parents' controlling nature extended beyond high school? What if I was only reminding him further of just how much pressure he was under? I wanted to take the words back and apologize for prying, but to my surprise, Liev actually answered.
I'm going to attend university in Auckland.
Nice! Are you going to stay in a hall?
Yeah, I guess that'll be more convenient.
Sounds exciting. I'm really happy for you. I'm sure you'll do great. Despite the mild pang of loneliness I feel at the idea of him leaving, I do fully mean my words. Liev had worked hard for his future. If he wanted to leave our small town to pursue his passions, then who was I to stop him? I consider cracking a joke about how short-lived our relationship had been, but decide against it. I'm not going to throw a pity party over this.
Thank you. What about you? What are your plans?
There it was, the dreaded question. I play with my fingers as I try to come up with a decent answer. Ultimately, as with my joke idea, I decide against it. If Liev could trust me with his vulnerabilities, then surely I could trust him with mine. I sigh. I don't actually know yet, to be honest. I feel silly. I know we've had almost 3 years to think about it, but I just haven't decided yet. I know I want to do something that relates to helping people. I'm just not sure what exactly. And I can't ignore my anxiety either. If I can't somehow deal with it, I'm not sure how I'll be able to cope in the working world. Worst case scenario, I guess I'll take a gap year and work. I can take more time to figure things out.
I see. That's understandable. Not everyone is ready to decide what they want to do straight out of high school.
Yeah, when I was being interviewed by the dean, she gave me a bunch of career ideas, but they all involved a ton of social interaction, like with patients, psychologists, psychiatrists, nurse, and so on.
Must have been awkward.
Yeah. So, as of yet, I'm not really sure. Maybe I need to look into my options a bit more. There's gotta be something for people who have a big caring heart but high anxiety that they can do to help people. If you know what that answer is, please let me know.
I'm sure that whatever decision you make will be the right choice. Though, not to sound biased, but if you end up going to Auckland, let me know, all right? We might see each other around.
I will. That, at least, is a silver lining. Liev still wants to see me again one way or another. It's then that the waiter approaches our table and serves our appetizers and drinks, apologizing for the long wait. I hadn't even noticed the time passing by, but I'm also glad to finally have something to eat. We have a plate of...
How to pronounce the name of this Italian dish, a traditional dish of Italian cuisine? These are Italian snacks consisting of a bowl of rice coated with breadcrumbs and then deep fried. This is a staple of Sicilian cuisine in particular. We are looking at how to pronounce arancini with a typical Italian pronunciation, arancini.
Arancini. We have a plate of arancini to share between the two of us with a side salad. Each ball has been sliced in half so that the filling is visible. Ooh. I take a piece and take a bite. Crunchy, cheesy, warm. It hits all the right spots. The rest of the half quickly disappears. Where can I get some arancini?
Is it that good? Let me try. This is delicious. Thanks for recommending it, Espoir.
No prob. I have an aunt that brings these over sometimes. Her recipe's a bit different, but I love them too.
I've been looking for a new recipe to learn, actually. Any chance I could steal it off her?
Wait, you cook?
Yeah, it's a little hobby of mine.
Against my better judgment, I start imagining a situation where we're a couple living together in an apartment, somewhere in Auckland. One weekend morning, I would wake up and head to the kitchen, still half asleep. And Liev would be at the stove, cooking breakfast for the both of us. I'd wrap my arms around him from behind, lean my head on his shoulder, and then he'd turn around to kiss me and say that breakfast will be ready soon.
Espoir. Espoir. Espoir?
Sorry.
Just imagining our future together.
Sorry, were you saying something?
I shake the fantasy out of my head.
How ridiculous. For one, we would never be able to afford a place in Auckland. For two, we're on our first date. Why am I already imagining us living together?
Nothing. You just looked like you were spacing out. Are you okay?
I'm fine. No need to worry. You were saying something about cooking being your hobby?
Ah, yes. I find it relaxing and practical. I'm in the cooking club at school, though I don't usually have the time to go to meetings. But enough about me. What about you? What do you like to do outside of school?
Here we go again. Man, I hate questions like this. All right, let's think. I guess I like... Though my voices sometimes shake my nerves, I find it surprisingly easy to talk to Liev. He listens to everything I say attentively, occasionally making insightful comments about the subjects I bring up. When I bring up the fact that I play piano, something flashes in his eyes, but he merely smiles and says that he thinks that it's a pretty instrument. It wouldn't surprise me if he was learning it. He just seems like a classy guy. When I finally finished rambling, Liev grins, amazed.
I never knew you had so many cool interests. I can't believe we didn't go on a date sooner.
Does he really think that highly of me? A flush threatens to burn up my cheeks again. Thank you. And sorry for talking about myself for so long.
Don't apologize. I really like listening to you.
I do my best to hide just how much that small comment is affecting me. This is the first time someone at school has said that to me, and it's the head boy of all people. So, what about you? What do you like to do in your free time?
Oh, I'm nobody special.
Come on, the head boy is nobody special? You've heard what pretty much all of senior year thinks about you, right? I've told you about myself. I want to know more about you, too.
All right. Ask me anything you want.
Now's my chance. Do you have any siblings? You've talked about your parents before, but what about your siblings? Is something wrong?
No, it's okay. I don't mind. I did have an older sister, but we're not exactly on talking terms at the moment.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She moved out years ago. We haven't spoken since.
Why did I even bring that up? Now I'm going to put him in a bad mood all over again. I feel even worse when I think about how his parents were treating him. It must be awful not to even have an older sibling to turn to. Liev's expression is unreadable, but I can tell that he's waiting for me to say something. Distract him? I've got a sibling too, a little brother. I wonder if Liev might find it insensitive for me to mention my own sibling just like that, but to my surprise, he looks at me curiously.
Really? What year is he in?
Year 9, even if he can be a pain sometimes. It's kind of adorable to see him carrying around so many books, asking me for help with math and stuff.
You seem like a great big sister.
Thank you. We have our ups and downs, but in the end, I wouldn't trade him for anyone else.
That's good. I'm glad that at least you and your brother get along well.
I hope that I've made him feel better, and not just giving him a cruel reminder of what he doesn't have. You have any pets?
Not at the moment, but I did have a cat when I was younger.
What was their name? Tsibolka? Aw, Tsibolka.
It's Ukrainian for little onion. My mom always just called him Onion. She would speak Russian to him and encourage me to do it too, since she said it would let me practice.
The mental image of Kid Liev chatting to his cat might just make my heart melt.
He was a good kitty, but the best thing about him was how good of a hunter he was.
Huh? Seriously?
Yep, it might sound weird, but at one point I thought of how useful he would be if disaster struck. He could hunt for food where it would be too dangerous for me to go. Honestly, it was impressive. Mice, frogs, birds, insects. One time, he even brought home a half-dead rabbit. Not the most appetizing, but it would at least be a source of protein.
What a good kitty indeed, making sure his human is fed.
He really was. So, what about you, Espoir?
Nah, we can't really afford to keep one at the moment.
That's a shame. But if you could have one, what would you want?
Huh, turning the question around, eh?
Come on, I'm curious.
Fine, I'll indulge you. If I could have a pet, I would get... Lizard, rabbit, bird, fish, dog. I've always wanted a dog, but I'm really glad that I have a cat. I have my little Daisy, who is asleep on her warm blanket right now. A cat.
A fellow cat person.
Thanks. Maybe when I finish university and find a decent place to live, I'll consider adopting one.
Let me know when you do, okay?
Of course. Where are you from? So, I hope this doesn't come off as weird, but I've heard rumors around school about you being from somewhere in Europe, that you're half so-and-so, etc. Is that true? Were you born in New Zealand?
I was. Why is that even a topic at school?
Sorry, you know how nosy people can be, and I guess I'm not helping by asking you. You don't have to share anything you don't want to.
It's okay. I don't mind telling you. Thank you for being considerate, though. I was born and raised here, but my dad is French-American and my mom is Russian. That's all there is to it. I don't see why people want to know about that stuff so badly.
Yeah, sorry for asking such a personal question. I was really curious.
No worries. I don't mind, if you're the one asking.
Are you fluent in French or Russian?
I guess. I speak to my parents mostly. Other than talking to exchange students, I don't really speak either often.
That's really cool, though. I wish I had the time to learn another language. I'm barely even fluent in my own.
Don't say that. You're a good speaker, Espoir. But if you want, I don't mind teaching you. Do you think that could be a fun idea for a date?
Sounds great. Are you sure, though? I don't want to mess up your schedule.
Of course. I'll always make time for you.
How is Liev so good at saying things that make me feel warm inside? What's your favorite food?
Huh? I guess it's carne pizza?
You're not just saying that because that's what I ordered, is it? You guess? He said exactly what I ordered for lunch. Speaking of which, it's taking an awfully long time. The waiter had already apologized for a delay earlier. What could have happened to cause another one?
Sorry, it's not really something I've given much thought about. I just said that because it was the first thing that came to mind.
Nah, I get it. Sorry as well. Those kinds of questions always put me on the spot, but I'm also really bad with asking questions.
You don't need to apologize, too. But, yeah, those questions are so deceptively simple, yet the moment you have to answer them, your brain just blanks.
Exactly. It's kind of flattering that the first thing that came to his mind was something I liked, too, even if it might not be that deep. So, why did you pick me? It was a question that I had on my mind ever since yesterday, and now I've asked him. My mind races with hundreds of possibilities, most of them nonsensical, some straight out of a teen romance novel. But none of them can even begin to ease the anxiety building up within me as the question is finally said out loud. Still, I want to know. I need to know.
Espoir, why do you even need to ask? It's obvious. You're kind and brave, empathetic and considerate. Why wouldn't I fall for you?
That's not what I mean. There are so many other people in our year with their eyes on you, Liev. So many who are also kind, brave, considerate, empathetic, and actually have a presence at school. I'm just a random nobody who can barely hold a conversation without panicking. What I'm saying is, out of everyone else, why would you pick me?
You want to know the truth, Espoir? Well, it's because I love you.
Oh no!
You're the only one for me. You always have been. Everyone else can burn in heck.
Ah!
I remember the first time I played this. We were having such a lovely time and I forgot what kind of game I was playing. This is why you should always read the warnings of the games you play.
What? Am I hallucinating? I have to be. There's no way Liev just said those things. There's no way he just looked at me in such a disturbing manner.
Espoir, are you okay? You're spacing out again. Is something wrong?
It's nothing. It's nothing. I just thought I saw... I want to be honest with him. What if I accidentally insult him for real? There would be no coming back from that. I just thought I saw something weird.
Okay.
He looks unconvinced, and I can't blame him. But how do I even begin to explain what I thought I saw and heard? I try to clear the air with a little more small talk. Anyway, the food sure is taking a while, don't you think?
I know. Sorry about this, Espoir. Let's go somewhere else next time.
As I'm about to tell him that there's no need to apologize, the waiter from earlier practically dashes to our table, setting down a tray of dishes.
I'm so sorry for the delay again. There was a huge problem in the kitchen and we only just managed to resolve it. Here's a free pack of garlic bread for your troubles. I hope you still enjoy the food.
No, it's okay. We get it.
No sooner had he spoken that, he immediately left, probably horribly embarrassed at having to be the one to serve the delayed food.
Holy crap.
Dude, your face!
What kind of look is that?
What an a-hole! Can't he see that we were talking?
What? What?
Don't you see, Espoir? I know his trick, acting apologetic and giving you free stuff to get your favor.
But he's the waiter. He has to act like that since we're customers.
I don't care. There was a glint in his eye when he looked at you. He was doing it to steal your attention away. I know it.
What is going on?
I remember how much I was panicking when I first played this. Like, what the heck? I was bamboozled into thinking this was going to be a nice little date, but I forgot what kind of game I was playing.
1 minute Liev was acting like the sweetest boy in the world, and the next he was glaring daggers at the waiter for doing his job. Liev!
Huh?
My voice is so loud that the few other patrons inside glance in our direction. I lower my voice, but it's no less firm than before. You're making me really uncomfortable with how you're acting. Buddy, are you okay? So, are you okay?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Espoir. These feelings are almost too much. I want to hold you, and at the same time, I want to murder everyone in this building.
Okay.
What? The actual fluffy floofle.
Part of me still wonders if I'm not hallucinating, that if I pinch myself, I'll wake up in bed and the whole date with Liev will just be a very strange dream. But this, it feels too real. I can clearly hear the bustling sounds of the restaurant, smell the food in front of me, see Liev grinning dementedly. What have I gotten myself into?
Ah, the food. We better eat it before it gets cold.
There's so many questions running through my mind, but Liev just goes on as if he hadn't just scared the living crap out of me. By now, I've lost all my appetite, but I can't afford to waste the food. Especially not food that someone else paid for, even if that person just so happens to be bat-poop crazy. All right, then. Good. Maybe I can ask him questions while we're eating, play it off as me wanting to know more about him. Hey, Liev?
Yes, Espoir? Ah, I'll never get tired of saying your name.
He might have been trying to sound romantic, but the words only send a chill down my spine. Is it all right if I could ask you some more questions? I've always wanted to know more about you.
Espoir is so sweet. Of course, ask me anything you want.
Okay. So, I was just wondering, what exactly happened to those guys who were harassing me? How did the school figure out that they smoked?
Espoir, you shouldn't concern yourself with them anymore.
I'm not concerned, just curious. I just want to know what evidence they found.
You're so smart, Espoir. You want to know the truth, don't you?
Crap, he saw right through me. But I can't act scared. So I just nod.
The truth is, I forged it.
So he got people expelled over a lie?
It was easy. All I had to do was bribe them into holding on to a pack of cigarettes. From there, it was simple as reporting them to the dean. Apparently, the fools couldn't even keep their word. The dean found used cigarette butts in their lockers. And then they were gone, just like that. Can't have a bunch of smokers tarnishing the school's reputation, can we?
How did she not suspect you?
She could never suspect the righteous head boy who had reported them in the first place.
Why? Why? Why go so far?
Because it was all for you. I would do anything for you, Espoir. Anything. Had you asked, I would have slaughtered them like they deserved.
How can you say things like that? They might have been horrible, but they're still people. You understand the meaning of what you're saying, right?
Oh, I understand perfectly well. But I don't care about them. They're insignificant to me.
You can't seem to see the situation from my point of view. These are real people with their own lives, their own families. It's horrifying to imagine being the reason for someone losing their child or sibling. What if that had been your friend?
It's the same difference. I would kill them for you too, and make them suffer for it.
You would kill your own friends for me? I'd be flattered if I wasn't poopingly terrified.
They're not really my friends. They're just high-status shields. If I'm nice to them, they'll shut down anything bad others might say about me. Meaning people can trust me, and thus be useful to me.
Everything I have ever known about Liev is crumbling to dust. Was this who Liev truly was all along? Hiding behind a handsome face and a kind smile? Well, I mean, the worst ones are.
Espoir, are you scared of me?
Who wouldn't be?
This is who I really am. I can't hide it from you anymore. Do you hate me? Do you think I'm a monster?
That's not it. I should report him to the police. He's just given me a detailed confession of an actual crime, not to mention his current demeanor. But given how easily he'd been able to fool the dean, I doubt that's even an option. And speaking of his demeanor, how do I even know that I'll live to tell the tale? I don't doubt that he's capable of murder, given how intelligent he is, but at the same time, keeps insisting that he would do anything for me. Why would he be willing to go so far? Unless he plans on using me too. All at once, everything is too much. My heart pounds against my ribcage, and sweat pools on my palms. It's worse than anything I've ever experienced. The world feels like it's spinning out of control. What am I going to do? What the heck am I going to do? I vaguely register Liev tugging me out of my chair and towards the exit. Instinct screams at me to struggle, but my anxiety renders me a marionette of my own panic. I'm helpless as Liev leads me out of the restaurant and into the park grounds. I don't know how to feel about this situation. When I come to, I look around and find myself back at the gardens, the place where Liev had fooled me into feeling sorry for him. Speak of the devil, he's sitting beside me, keeping his distance, but no less of a looming threat.
Espoir, are you feeling better?
How can he act like a concerned boyfriend right now? when just minutes ago... Why did you bring me here?
Because you were panicking. I wanted to bring you somewhere quiet, somewhere you could calm down.
You think I'll believe you when you were just talking about killing people? How do I know you won't try to kill me as well?
No, I wouldn't kill you, Espoir. I could never.
Then why? Why do you act like that? Sweet one moment and then murderous the next? Are you trying to trick me? I just wanted one good day with someone who liked me.
I do like you, Espoir. I love you, I always have.
No wonder. I'm so gullible that I actually believed the most popular guy at school liked me. I guess I can only blame myself.
Stop saying those things. You're so perfect. Perfect. I've watched you. You say you're nobody, but that isn't true. You're so kind and considerate. You pick up other people's rubbish. You feed stray animals, and you even defend people who are being bullied.
Given how he's been acting, I shouldn't be surprised, but he stalks me. Just my luck that I'd get an actual crazy stalker as my first date.
I don't understand. You should be bitter, like me, but you're not. You're empathetic and understanding and so kind and...
What do you want from me?
Huh?
Am I a charity case to you? Are you trying to shower me with affection so you can show off to everyone how so gracious you are?
That's not it at all. I don't care about anyone else. You're the only person who matters. Please believe me, Espoir. All I want is to be with you and to make you happy. And if that means getting rid of a few pests along the way, then so be it.
I don't know if I can. What you said here earlier, did you really mean it? Or was that all a lie to get me to feel bad for you?
I would never lie to you, Espoir. I really was stressed, from all the fake smiles I had to give, from all the work I was doing to appear normal. If you hadn't asked me out, I probably would have killed those guys anyway.
There's no more denying it. Liev really is just that unstable. I have to think of something, a way to get out of here, to subdue him. Something. I had originally thought of continuing to date him until he slipped up, gave me irrefutable evidence, and then I could report him to the police and prevent him from harming anyone else. But with how easily he'd seen through my ruse, would that actually work? And I also can't deny his feelings. No one would be that persistently affectionate if they were just trying to fool someone. And no one would go as far as expulsion and threats of murder. It would have been kind of nice for him to be so devoted had he been a normal boy. Alas, I'm not that lucky. In that case, there must be a way to help him, or at least to find him some help. Best ending of this game, we all get therapy together. I just have to get through the rest of this date. If I end it now, he might assume the worst. I also have to watch what I say and do. One wrong move and Liev might stab the next person to glance in my direction. Okay. I think I've calmed down now. Let's go do something. We're still on a date after all.
Hold on. You didn't answer my question earlier. Espoir, do you think I'm a monster?
If I answer honestly, he'll definitely take it the wrong way. But if I lie, he might see through it. What should I do? Giving me control here. Save button. Be honest. Dude, you're scaring me. For real. Liev, the way you're acting is really concerning. I hate to say it, but you're not acting well.
I knew it. I'm a monster. I knew it.
Let me explain. You're not a monster, but I do have a request.
A request?
Don't talk about murder so casually, please, even if you're doing it for me. It ruins the mood, you know? It's scary.
Of course. I'm so stupid. Of course I scare you, of course.
Liev, come on. Let's continue our date. I still want to enjoy our time together. don't you want that too?
Of course I do.
Good. Then let's decide right now, where do you want to go next?
I don't mind. Whatever Espoir wants, I want.
Okay, but if I wasn't a factor in the decision, what would you choose?
Well, I wouldn't be here in the first place if not for you, but I guess maybe the haunted house. Do you like that idea, Espoir?
Suggesting that after we just had a talk about scary things. Actually, that seems pretty in character for Liev. But at least he's making the decision instead of deferring to me. Sounds fun. Let's go then.
Are you scared? Don't worry. I'll protect you. You can hold on to me if it gets too much.
Hey, I can handle myself just fine. Thank you very much. It's not scary things that scare me. It's normal things, dealing with society. Let's see this date through to the end. Starting with the haunted house. All right. Ooh. We arrive there quickly. It's only a few minutes' walk from the gardens. It's styled like an old abandoned mansion with dark hallways and dimly lit windows. Oh, I have 8 affection points. Liev follows me like a puppy the whole way, even when this was his idea. He seems to find some weird joy in trailing behind me. Before, I would have found it kind of cute. Now, it's just unsettling. No offense, but do you have to do that? You know, you can walk beside me. There's enough space.
It's okay. I just want to make sure that nothing can sneak up on you from behind.
I guess that's a good point, but doesn't that leave us vulnerable to things in front of us?
Of course. You're so observant, Espoir. Don't worry. I'll protect you from all this scary stuff.
Oh. Liev strides over to stand in front of me, no more than a step away. He's so close I could have taken his arm, but the lingering unease of what happened earlier keeps me from doing so. As if reading my mind, Liev holds out his arm invitingly.
Hold on to me. I don't mind, really.
That's all right. I'll be fine. Liev pouts, whispering something under his breath. Fortunately, I'm close enough to hear what it is.
Aw, no need to be shy. But it's okay. The offer's always open, though.
Thanks. While I've always avoided haunted houses, there are scarier things out there. Like the guy in front of me. Even if he doesn't mean to scare me, I still can't bring myself to trust him. The best thing to do right now is to keep my distance and hope that things won't go badly. Things go badly. Gosh darn it. Why did I agree to do this? I know that I don't cope well in these kinds of places. We've already been jumped by a withered butler and a ghost maid popping out from the doors. Somehow both managed to catch me off guard. And by that, I mean scare me poopless. At least Liev is dealing with the jump scares well. In fact, he doesn't appear to react to them at all. Just stares each one down with an impassive expression. Man, how are you doing that?
Doing what?
Being so calm, I mean. You haven't made a single sound this whole time.
I'm not sure how I'm supposed to react, to be honest. It's all fake anyway. I thought people liked guys like that. Espoir, do you not? I can act scared too if it helps.
No, that's okay. I'm just really bad with haunted houses.
I thought so, but why didn't you say anything earlier?
Because I wanted to try something new? Come on, I'm a grown-up now. You don't have to worry so much. Not the most airtight reasoning, but at least Liev doesn't press further.
Okay, but if it gets too much, just let me know.
Sure. Thanks. We keep walking towards the end of the hallway, passing by more closed doors. Anticipation builds up for one of them to burst open, and for something to jump at me. I will scream so loud, and then totally lose my marbles.
I'm ready for it.
But there's nothing.
How boring. I'm still tense. I'm still ready for it.
Try relieving. Ooh, it's quiet. Too quiet. Far too quiet. We've reached some kind of cellar now, and nothing has tried to scare us ever since we left the hallway.
Liev scared all the monsters out.
I should have calmed down after having some respite, but the complete silence combined with my unease does nothing to help. Liev is apathetic to the situation as ever, though he stays close out of concern. At least, I hope that's why. Oh no, there's that smile again.
You know, when we're this close together, I can feel it. I can feel your body heat right against me. It's addicting. So addicting. That genuinely scared me like a little teeny bit.
Boo!
Now, listen here. I don't know if you're an actor or an animatronic, but you need to get out of here right now. Like now, you need to go. You need to leave. You're in danger. Said me. Take Liev's hand so he doesn't use it to strangle this poor actress.
I totally got you.
Yeah, well, you're gonna get yourself killed. That's what you're gonna get.
Are you okay? You're pale as a ghost. Wait. I'll leave you two alone now.
Run for your life!
Are you okay, Espoir?
What? You're actually...
What is there to say? I cling tighter to his hand, averting my eyes, letting my actions speak for themselves. Aww.
I've always wanted this to happen, but now that it's really come true... Espoir, please do come closer. I don't bite.
Not giving me the chance to respond, he uses my death grip to pull me so that my head rested against his chest. His scent of light cologne and freshly washed laundry is much stronger here. In other circumstances, it would be comforting. Still, as he wraps his arms around me, stroking my back in a soothing motion, holding me like any normal boyfriend would, his closeness calms my racing heartbeat.
Hey, feeling better? You've stopped shaking.
I nod, letting my head sink against his warmth.
That's good. I'm glad. So glad.
Aww.
But now, my own heart won't calm down. Can you hear it, Espoir? It's beating so fast, because of you.
Oh no! Help! Help!
I could stay here forever, holding you. You. And I really thought you would hate me after what happened earlier.
I'd been contemplating my feelings for him ever since that revelation, but despite everything, I can't find it in myself to truly hate him. Deep inside, I can only see Liev as someone who's deeply struggling with an intense obsession. In a way, he's like me, obsessing over how I look in front of others, being paranoid over things normal people wouldn't even bat an eye over. Does that make me stupid? Maybe. And at the same time, if there's some way I can help him...
Aw, look at main character. Look at Espoir in the game still thinking of how to help other people.
Liev, you know I don't actually hate you, right?
I'm glad. I'm so glad to hear that. I love you, Espoir. I can't express that enough. My world is so much brighter with you.
Is he saying that from his heart, or is it just coming from his obsession? And why am I pondering this stuff in the middle of a haunted house? Sure, it's important, but it's something I'd rather ask him in broad daylight. I pry myself out of his arms. He looks at me as if he'd just been snapped out of a deep trance. Let's keep going. We should be close to the end. He pouts, cute enough to almost make me forget the kind of person he really is. Aw.
All right, if we really have to.
To my surprise, being scared so badly meant that the rest of the journey wasn't as terrifying. Some of the pop-ups still made me jump, but I at least managed to keep myself from screaming again. Still seemingly floating on cloud 9, Liev kept hold of my hand the whole way. Pace relaxed as if we were just taking a leisurely stroll in the haunted mansion, like, oh, look, there's a eyeless painting over there. Oh, a suit of armor just waved its sword at us. They're just having a lovely stroll.
Did you enjoy that, Espoir?
To be very honest, no, I did not. I never want to go to a haunted house again.
That's all right. We don't have to anymore. Especially not with that stupid girl around.
Yeah, maybe keep an eye on her. Maybe have her friends know her location at all times. What about you?
It was fine. I don't usually care for things like this.
Didn't he suggest it in the first place?
I'm just happy that it brought us close together. In a literal sense. I'd at least like for that to happen again.
Come to think of it, he seems strongly apathetic to a lot of things that don't involve me. Though he is in charge of all those clubs. Before I can ask him to elaborate, Liev speaks again.
Anyway, it's your turn to decide. Where do you want to go to next?
Well, after such a harrowing experience, I just wanted to be as far away from this place as possible. That gives me an idea. Oh, what about the arcade? That place would have minimal fear factor, which would come with the bonus of not triggering my or Liev's paranoia. That was the most important part.
That sounds fun. All right, we can't waste any more time here. Let's go.
He tugs on my hand, and I follow him out of the door without hesitation. The sunny amusement park is a welcome sight after spending so much time in an enclosed, dark space. Liev is still in an upbeat mood, humming a strangely familiar tune as he swings our linked hands back and forth. I can never really get used to him getting so happy just being around me. It's a stark contrast to how I was usually treated at school. I guess it is nice. I just wish he didn't have to take it so far.
Espoir, what games should we play?
As long as it's not horror-themed, I'm down for anything.
Of course. But do you have anything in particular in mind?
Well, there's a claw machine game I kind of like. They have some nice prizes.
What kinds?
Mostly just stuffed animals and candy. The stuffed animals are really cute, though. I have a couple at home. Wait, what am I saying? I sound like a little kid. Anyway, they have other games as well, if you like those better.
It doesn't matter. You like it, right? So let's go ahead and play it.
Wait, so you don't mind that I still...
Of course not. Anything Espoir likes is more than good enough for me.
Oh, okay then. It's a little silly for me to be so worried about his opinion, isn't it? He's never exactly expressed disapproval, except for when I'm being self-deprecating. Still, and speaking of things someone likes, so what do you usually do after school? I'd asked him something similar at lunch, but he brushed it aside. This time I wouldn't let it go so easily.
I guess the usual things. Studying, maybe some revision if there's a test coming up.
Anything else? Like, anything unrelated to school?
Is there anything else a student should be doing?
I mean, what do you like to do besides that stuff? He stares at me for so long that I wonder if I've offended him somehow. Did I say something?
There is one thing. I recently started learning piano.
So my inkling at the restaurant had been true, but What could have made him want to learn it, I wonder?
Gee, I wonder. Actually, maybe double-check some of the clubs he's in.
Oh, really?
Yes. You played a beautiful song in the music room the other day. It was a little difficult, but I managed to find it online.
And just when I thought that he'd actually become interested in something other than me. Even worse, the tune he'd been humming had sounded awfully similar to the song I'd been practicing. Thank you? So, anything else? Have you listened to any good music lately?
I don't listen to music.
What about shows?
I don't watch any.
Books?
Only extra readings for school, and whatever nonfiction seems useful. I don't care much for the rest.
Maybe he's just not into pop culture.
I'm grasping at straws here, dude.
Still, it's more than a little unsettling to hear him answer like that. Do you do anything with your friends?
Listen, lady, I just told you I don't have actual friends. I always say that I'm busy. It's a good enough excuse.
You don't go out at all?
Sometimes, but only for birthday parties and the like. Even then, I leave as soon as I'm able.
Oh, you're into parties? That's definitely not something I expected from...
No, I'm not. They're boring and a waste of time. I only go if I can use the event to my advantage. Otherwise, it's just a bother.
You at least like your clubs, right? I mean, since you lead a few.
They're useful for scholarships, I guess. But other than that, they don't really matter. Oh, but the athletics club has been a little interesting.
Nice. So, what do you like about it?
That's where I was able to practice cross country. I like outrunning the others. It's been a useful skill. Very useful indeed.
Okay, so just keep that in your back pocket that, he can run really fast.
I'm so happy that you want to know more about me, Espoir. But that's not important. On the contrary, I want to know more about you, the things you like, the thoughts you have, everything. That's why I started watching you at first. I liked just seeing you go about your day, making sure you were safe. But there came a point where it wasn't enough to be near you anymore. Just now, I want to be totally surrounded by you. If I could see into your mind, know every single thing there is to know, stay with you forever and ever and ever, that I think would make me the happiest person in the world.
But that wouldn't work, in my opinion. It's not really a relationship. Remember when you talked to me about your problems? I can do the same for you, right?
Liev gazes silently at me for a few seconds, considering the question, then nods slowly. Yes.
If you want to know more about me, you can ask, okay? But I also want to be able to ask you things. That's fine with you, right?
Of course. I understand. See, this is why I love you so much, Espoir. You show me all sorts of new perspectives. Anyway, this has been a lovely chat, but we should get a move on.
Newly invigorated, he takes my hand, pulling me forward. Why do I feel like we made no progress at all? I don't know what I was expecting. I guess I'd thought that looking into his hobbies would give me some insight on his personality, but he doesn't seem to enjoy anything that isn't purely practical or mildly disturbing. Still, I'm glad he opened up about himself for once. The rest of the walk is peaceful enough, though Liev flashes me very frequent wide smiles. Finally, we step through the doors of the arcade. The arcade is bustling with teens our age, engrossed in a game or crowding around the various machines waiting for their turn. I recognize a few people from school, but I can't quite get up the courage to say hi. And despite being head boy, Liev doesn't even spare them a passing glance. I spot a shooting game nearby which gives me an idea. Liev seems very violently inclined, but perhaps if he could expend that energy into a game where no one would actually get hurt, it might calm him down for a while. Maybe it would relieve stress from school. Huh, as if school is the reason why he's like that. Well, I don't know. Hey, they have a game over there you might like. Want to check it out? He follows the direction of where I'm pointing, but shrugs with an uninterested look on his face.
Oh, I thought you didn't like that sort of thing.
I just want you to have fun as well. Isn't that game super popular with guys right now? Have you ever watched someone play before?
I remember seeing someone bring a portable console to school once. I watched them play, but it all looked so terribly boring. The controls looked stiff, and the blood effects were just silly. It's not the same.
Not the same as Liev?
It doesn't matter. It's your turn to pick, right? You should get the final say. And I'm already enjoying myself, Espoir. I'm with you, after all.
Okay, I guess if that's not your thing, let's go ahead.
All right. This way, this way.
I swear, the more I learn about this guy, the more unsettled I get. Liev makes a beeline for the claw machine.
Here we are. Would you like to go first, Espoir? I don't mind.
Sure. I insert a coin into the slot and wait for the light to flash green, signaling the start of the game. A second later, my hand is pushing the joystick to and fro, trying to get the claw into the optimal position for pressing the button to lower it. My focus is laser sharp on the cat plushie nestled near the back corner, standing out among the other toys like a jewel in sand. If I could just get the stupid claw in the right spot. Sweat builds up on my palms as I see that I only have a few seconds left. I do my best to maintain my grip on the joystick.
You can do it, Espoir.
He probably meant to be encouraging, but having his eyes on me only makes me feel more stressed. With the joystick right above the plushie, at least from where I can see, I slam my hand on the button.
Those things are always rigged, but I have heard there is a trick to them.
The claw manages to grab a limb, but it's not enough to lift the whole thing. It rises back up, moves to the front, and opens to release a non-existent prize. Hey, I got some nice oxygen. I guess I've gotten a little rusty. It's been a while anyway.
That isn't fair. You were so close.
Liev, calm down. It's no big deal, Liev. Let's just play something else.
No, you really wanted that, right? Then it's important. I'll get it for you.
Stepping up to the machine, he yanks the joystick around as if testing that it's working properly, before slamming a fist on the button a few times. The sound makes me wince. Only then does he shove another coin into the slot, gripping the joystick so tight that I thought it would snap off. His eyes are eerily dull yet intense as they focus on the claw. When it finally lines up with the prize, he holds the button down, pinning it like a cat with its wriggling prey. To my amazement, the claw aims true, grabbing my plushie and dispensing it at the front.
Wow, you are inhuman. I've never met a person in real life who could actually get anything out of one of those.
Liev swipes it and thrusts it out to me with a grin that's just a little too wide.
Now maybe I'm a little desensitized, but that smile's kind of cute. Here you go, Espoir.
How did you... On your first try, too?
I made it less troublesome.
I clutch the plushie to my chest, admiring it. Liev looks on, happy that I liked his present.
Aw, you won me your plushie. Best date ever.
Thank you so much. You really didn't have to, and sorry for making you spend even more money on me.
Don't apologize. It's not a problem at all.
Come to think of it, I've read about a claw machine hack online once, and it seemed cool at first, until I found out that it would stay in that mode until undone. Wait, do you know how to reset it?
No. Why does it matter?
Because someone's bound to notice. What if we get kicked out for messing with the machine?
We won't if we're quick.
You know what? I'm with Liev on this one. Let's get out of here. You don't understand. If not us, some employee is going to be blamed for something they didn't cause.
That's not our concern. Besides, they rig these things anyway.
I'm fully on Liev's side. I'm almost convinced that Liev has an issue with seeing service workers as actual people, considering how that view seems to apply to everyone else. Okay, think of it like this. What if I was the worker who was going to be blamed? Would you still have done it?
Yes.
Full stop.
But of course I would find a way to shift the blame. I would never let you suffer the consequences. You're right, though. I don't understand. Are you really comparing yourself to other people? Because you're nothing like them. No, those people don't matter. You're the only person worth anything to me.
My attempt at inducing even an ounce of empathy fails miserably. But what else could I have said? Liev, you know there's people from school hanging around here who can hear everything you're saying. And I still have to decide what to do about the claw machine. Do I keep Liev's gift and bear with the guilt, or reject it and risk destabilizing him further? Keep it. He won it mostly fair and square. Those things cheat. Maybe there's a third option. If I return the favor, that might calm him down, maybe, and even if we get caught, then I won't have to face the consequences alone. No, keep it. He won it for me. He handed it to me. 'Tis mine. Except the plushie. I see. Well, there's nothing we can do. Thank you, though, Liev. I appreciate the thought. Despite his questionable methods, the pure, genuine happiness on his face when he'd given me the plushie keeps me from arguing further.
It's nothing at all. I'm just glad you're feeling better now. And I hope this makes up for scaring you earlier. I thought being around you would help me control myself. And it isn't your fault at all, but I just... We should go, okay? Before someone notices.
We leave the arcade, trying not to make it seem like we're in a hurry. Despite the huge pang of guilt clinging to my chest, I've already made my choice. Now I'll just have to live with it. Okay, you, watching in the comments right now, if you bamboozled a claw machine and got the prize you really, really wanted out of it, would you feel guilty? I want to know, would anybody feel guilty about that? I would not. I can only hope that whoever has to clean up the mess doesn't get into too much trouble. And just switch it off and on again or something. As soon as we're back in the main area, Liev points out a nearby food cart.
Fancy a snack? It'll be my treat.
Are you sure? I'm starting to feel like a freeloader.
Espoir, really, it doesn't bother me at all. In fact, I want to do it.
Well, free food is free food, even if it's from an obsessive stalker. Remember, kids, don't accept free food from an obsessive stalker, no matter how cute he is. Free cake, though. Stalker. Oh, God. I hope no one at the arcade saw us leave. Okay, if you insist. Cool. We grab cotton candy from the old vendor, who makes light conversation. Thankfully, it doesn't last too long, and thankfully, Liev seems to be in a decent enough mood that he actually humors him. The snack vendor wishes us a good date, muttering something about the youngins growing up so fast. Thank you, sir. With our snacks secured, we head off. That was sweet of him.
I guess so.
He seems uninterested in carrying on with that topic, so my eyes wander, searching for something else to talk about. I notice some umbrella tables near an empty carousel. Hey, want to sit over there?
Oh, yes. That's a nice spot, Espoir.
We sit underneath a blue umbrella, and that's when the ache from walking around the whole afternoon settles into my legs. I take the opportunity to stretch them out, sighing in relief.
Are you okay?
Yeah, just sore legs. How about you?
Oh, I'm absolutely fine. Don't even worry.
I take a bite of my cotton candy, savoring the sugary, melty goodness. Only when I look across do I see that Liev is staring at me intently, his own cotton candy untouched. You gonna eat that, pal? Actually, no, I can't. I like cotton candy. I can't eat too much of it. Yes?
Don't mind me.
Well, that's not weird or anything. Okay. Not knowing what else to say, I gulp down another bite. Thankfully, Liev takes the hint and finally starts nibbling on his own food. On my end, the stick is clean in less than a minute. It's not very filling, but at least it's something. Only then do I notice that Liev is staring at me again, barely a dent in his cotton candy. You good? Liev holds his cotton candy out invitingly.
Would you like the rest of mine?
Somehow that causes a flush to rise on my face. It'll be like we're indirectly kissing. With everything going on, it's a wonder that he can still fluster me like this. You don't want it?
I know that you would, at least. It's okay. I'm not hungry.
Strange that he would waste money just to copy me then. I think back to lunch. He ordered the same thing I had. He was always deferring to me, using me as a reference point for so many things. Was it to flatter me? Because he really thought my words were gospel? Or maybe he really just doesn't know.
Espoir?
Would it be so bad to play along? It would at least keep him happy, but he's already given me so much that I'd feel pretty selfish if I did. Gimme that cotton candy. Sure, I'm not going to say no to more food. I take the stick from his hand and take a big bite. Liev grins, thankfully radiating with warmth rather than madness. 'Cause you just know, I'm gonna have to play this again, and I'm gonna pick all the choices that's gonna make him mad.
Just say the word and I'll buy you all the food you want.
Liev cracks up at my attempt to speak, which nearly causes me to choke. Thankfully, the sugar quickly dissolves in my mouth, and I regain the gift of speech. Thank you. For all this, I mean. I squeeze the plushie on my lap. I really wish there was some way I could pay you back.
I don't need anything, Espoir. When you're happy, I'm happy.
I finish the other stick quickly, both out of enjoyment and a desire to not be stared at again. Ahem. So, I reckon there's enough time for one more stop today. Since I picked last, where do you want to go?
Already? The day's gone by far too quickly.
I don't know how to feel about that. For one, this nightmare is almost over. I just need to make it through one last attraction. Then I can catch the train home, bolt down all the doors and windows, and think about what to do next. For two, well, we've gotten to know each other really well in the course of one day. I missed being able to talk to someone so easily. You know, ignoring the fact that the someone in question is extremely mentally unstable. I know. I'm surprised too.
Hey, Espoir, I'd like to end it on a strong note.
You're gonna say a roller coaster, aren't you? And what would that strong note be?
Let's ride a roller coaster.
I mean, I'll do it. I'll hate every second of it, but I'll do it. I got on the Joker's jinx willingly, and I regretted it. My voice quivers very tellingly.
Do you not want to? We really don't have to if you're not comfortable.
I didn't say that. I'm just scared. Very, very scared.
Espoir, it'll be all right. I'll be right beside you the whole way. And you can hold on to me. Again, I wouldn't mind that.
I'm not a kid anymore. There's no need to be so terrified. Logically, there's no way I'd fall out of my seat, as I once feared. And yet, is this a pop-up carnival or is this an established carnival? No, I'm going to see this through. I've survived this far through a date with Liev. I've talked a dangerously obsessive stalker out of his murderous urges. What's a few minutes on a roller coaster by comparison? You give me the option, I'd rather take the stalker. Okay, let's go then.
That's the spirit.
I clutch my stuffed toy to my chest, feeling both like a kid trying way too hard to act grown-up and an overly immature adult, which I guess isn't entirely inaccurate. Hey, there's nothing immature about being scared out of your wits. In a show of support, Liev smiles.
Ready to go?
Well, it's now or never. And with that, we pack up our things and head off to the last stop of this crazy day. I can't do this. Let's not do this then. Let's forget all this noise. It didn't feel so bad to agree to it before, but now, here, where I can actually see for myself how high the track goes. Oh, don't like it. That right there, don't like it, don't want it. Too many loop-de-loops. Don't like it. No, I knew what I was getting into, didn't I? So why am I still freaking out? My sweaty toes wriggle fruitlessly against the inside of my shoes. As I wage my internal war, Liev sends me a concerned glance.
Espoir? Are you sure you're fine? You kind of look like you're about to...
I'm fine. Totally fine. Just excited. Excited is all. Yep.
I know you're lying.
In hindsight, what had been the point of pretending?
We're about to get in line. Are you sure you want to go through with this?
Decision paralysis is a terrible thing, and somehow it's then that it decides to set in. What to get for lunch? Nope. Whether or not to hold Liev's hand? Nah. What to do with the plushie? Not then. But whether or not to get on a stupid roller coaster, of course that's when it happens. I'm freaking out with ya. No, I can't decide now. I have to think. I have to calm down. And I can't do that out here. I have to go to the bathroom. I can't even find it in myself to be embarrassed at how abruptly I'd said that. That's how bad this is.
Okay, I'll come with you.
No, don't. I mean, I'm busting. I'll only be a few minutes.
No, I don't like that.
Dude, do you know how weird you'll look if people see you loitering outside the women's room?
I'll just say I'm waiting for my girlfriend. It's true in a way, is it not?
I just need you to hold my plushie, okay? I promise I won't be long. Max 5 minutes.
Fine. Okay, just tell me if anything happens. I'll break down the door if I have to.
I give a nervous chuckle. He's probably not kidding. I give him my plushie, and he gathers it in his arms, squeezing it with an annoyed pout. I'd better go. See you in a bit.
See you soon.
I can still feel his eyes burning a hole on my back as I leave. Once I'm finally out of sight, I briefly consider gapping it and heading straight for the station. What stops me is the memory of Liev confronting me about my fears, constantly giving me a way out. Even considering how terrifying he can be, is it really fair on him to betray his trust like that? Didn't I want to get him help? Or maybe it's just my self-preservation talking. Instead, I follow the signs to the nearest bathroom. Inside, there's just a girl at the mirrors fixing her makeup. I enter the nearest vacant stall and lock the door. I lean my head against the cool wall, finally having room to breathe. I can't believe it. I can't believe I've actually come this far. Am I really going to survive this date? Am I really going to make it home? I can't help but give a small laugh. This has been one heck of a day. Again, a short roller coaster ride is nothing compared to what I've already done, to the possibility of getting home safe. What's stopping me from just getting it over with? Still, that had been a pretty tall drop. As I debate with myself, my phone suddenly chimes with a new text. I wonder if it's Mama, asking how the date's going, or maybe it's Quentin, sending kissy face emojis. But then I read it. Espoir, it's been 5 minutes. Where are you? Crap. I lost track of time. But before I can even think of a reply, my phone chimes again. And again. And again.
Are you okay? You didn't actually need to leave, did you? You're still scared. Espoir? Answer me, please.
No sooner had my fingers touched the keyboard that he had sent a new message. It would be impressive if not for the context. Fingers shaking, I type out a half-baked reply. I'm just washing up. I'll be back soon. 5 minutes. Barely 5 minutes, and he's already spamming me. What the heck? The second my finger hits send, my phone rings with a call. No points for guessing who from. Sighing, I answer it. Hi, Liev. Is something up? I'm literally about to go back.
No need to. I'm right outside.
His voice sounds strained, as if he'd just run the perimeter of the whole park. Already?
Yep, I'll be waiting.
He hangs up, leaving me to stare at my screen in silence. Why? Why? Can't he give me a break? Resisting the urge to curl up and scream into my knees, I exit the stall. The girl at the mirrors raises a brow at me, though her expression seems sympathetic. Was that your partner? They sound clingy. I give a nervous chuckle.
She has no idea.
I give myself a quick once-over, smoothing out the wrinkles in my clothes and brushing my hair back from my face. Okay, time to leave before Liev thinks I've been kidnapped or something. I step out of the bathroom, trying to ignore the pounding of my heart.
Espoir, you're back.
Yeah, didn't I tell you to wait?
I couldn't. I just couldn't. You were gone for so long, and I thought you'd run away or something happened to you, and I was so scared.
Without warning, he pulls me in for a bone-crushing hug that knocks the air out of me.
Don't leave again, okay? You can always tell me what's bothering you.
I can only nod against his shoulder. At the very least, I believe that. I'm okay. I can take care of myself. You didn't need to run all the way here.
I'm sorry, Espoir. I was just really worried. If anything happens to you...
Sighing, I reach out to pat him on the head. His hair is silky soft between my fingers and smells faintly of vanilla. I'm fine, all right? I was just trying to calm down before getting in line. He gasps at the contact, but nods, closing his eyes and nuzzling my hand like a cat. It takes everything in me to not find that adorable. I nudge him away, and he looks disappointed at the loss of contact. Let's just go, okay?
Okay.
At least he apologized, but it's not exactly nice to know that your date can't even be away from you for more than 5 minutes. We make our way back to the rides, me with my plushie in a death grip.
Ready to go?
Ready as I'll ever be, I guess.
If anything happens, you know what to do.
Actually, can I ask you a favor?
Anything.
I hope I don't sound weird, but can you talk to me while we're in line? Just about anything other than the ride.
Espoir, you sound like you're about to get a jab.
Aw, I sound like I'm about to get a needle. I know, but I really do want to go, if only so that I can prove that I'm stronger than this. That would just help.
Yeah, of course I will.
Thanks. We make our way to the end of the worryingly short line. I look at the people in front of us. How carefree and relaxed they seem. If only I could be like them, then I could take the whole situation in stride. Then I would understand how to manage the date better.
Espoir, do you like drawing? Truth be told, I'm a terrible artist. In bio, we had to draw different skulls, and someone thought my ape skull was a horse head.
Yikes, that's kind of rude.
I know, but I think I could see it. At least it wasn't for a grade, or else it would have been a problem.
Liev continues to bring up mundane anecdotes to keep my attention on him, and before I know it, our conversation is interrupted by the ride operator.
You two together? Oh, lucky you. We have a couple seats left near the front.
Wait, the front? Are they any closer to the middle or the back?
Yeah, nah, sorry. Ride's pretty much full.
Just great. Just peachy. Now I've really made myself look like a wimp. But it's too late to back out now, so I just nod in resignation. Liev threads his fingers through mine as we make our way to our seats.
You okay?
No. Liev gives my hand a gentle squeeze, the warm pressure calming my heart rate, if only a little.
It'll be over before you know it, all right? There's nothing to be scared of.
At that point, I would say just forget it. It's not worth the panic attack. I respectfully disagree, but the rational part of me knows that he's right. We buckle up just as the operator passes by. They pull the handlebars down over our laps, and the reality of the situation begins to fully set in as I take a deep breath. I'm doing this. I'm really doing this. The train slowly, ever so slowly, glides up the incline. I think the last roller coaster that I rode, which was like more than 20 years ago, was it started immediately. There was no gradual thing. It just went here and then 100. Great experience. Never want to do it again. And then it stops right at the very top, along with the conversations around us. My hand is gripping Liev so tight that it must have been painful for him. But when he glances at me, I see only concern. I grit my teeth, holding back tears. Not here. Not now. No, go ahead. This is the perfect time to cry, actually. And then we're falling. The air whips my hair out of my face. Everything is a blur. I feel like I'm going to float out of the train. When we reach the bottom, I realize that I managed to keep in my scream. A quick glance at Liev shows that he is as calm as ever. A placid smile, never leaving his face. Another incline. I steel myself for the inevitable. I'm falling. Floating. I laugh in pure exhilaration, closing my eyes. I'm not dead. Then the laughter turns into a scream as I'm turned upside down. The train slows for a few moments. I don't dare open my eyes. And then we're moving through loops and hills and turns faster than I can think. My blood pumps in my ears. I can barely hear my own breathing among the sounds of screams. At one point, some self-destructive instinct drives me to open my eyes. The entire park is visible from here. The awe of the view briefly overrides the crushing fear. But then we're falling again. The incline makes my heart skip a beat. What the heck? Are we going in a vertical line? To make matters worse, when we reach the bottom, the train begins to twist violently from side to side. I grip the handlebars for dear life, praying that my death would be quick and painless. My hand has practically fused with Liev's with how tightly I'm holding on to him. His hold on me is just as strong, but a glance in his direction shows not a hint of distress on his face. Another loop, and another, so many that it makes me lightheaded. Then the train comes to a roaring stop. The world is out of focus for a few seconds. I barely register anything around me, can barely understand what Liev is saying, can barely feel the handlebars being lifted off. You did it! You did it! Only when Liev squeezes my hand do I come to. Espoir, hey, are you all right? It's over. You did it.
I did?
The floaty feeling remains as we disembark and collect our things. Liev's hand in mine keeps me upright as we make our way back to the main area.
How was it? Did you have fun?
I think I'm just glad I survived.
You did great. You were so brave to face your fears like that. It's amazing. Amazing.
Normally, this many compliments at once would have sounded kind of disingenuous, but Liev is glowing with pride, a brilliant smile on his face. I find myself crumpling under his praise. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so happy right now I could kiss you.
Smooches.
Oh, too soon?
Why? Why you say it while looking like that?
Sorry. I just want to celebrate. May I hug you instead?
Yes! Hugs.
I open my arms invitingly. I'm gonna need something to ground me for a bit. Before I know it, I'm clenched in his embrace, my head pressed against his shoulder, and his arms wrapped securely around my waist.
I love you. I love you so much. I love you I love you. Why is the music fading out? I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. His grip tightens, and he buries his nose into my neck, inhaling deeply. Uh-oh. I do my best to stay absolutely still, a lump catching in my throat. If I had felt any joy from the hug, all that went out the window in that moment. He releases me slowly, as if it physically pained him to let me go. I really, truly wish I could kiss you, but for now, this is enough. It's home time for you soon, isn't it? That's right. With the ride over and done with, it's late afternoon. Using my phone, I check how long it'll be until the next train. Dang it, I just missed the last one. It'll be 30 minutes till the next. Really? I mean, silver lining, right? There's lots of things we can do in that time. We could get ice cream or take photos or anything you want. I think we should take some photos. That'll be fun. I mean, you can't go on a nice, terrifying anime date and not go to the photo booth. Well, that garden was quite pretty, and I'd like to sit down again. I kind of want to show the flowers to Mama. Is that good with you? No need to ask. Let's go, let's go. Taking my hand, Liev pulls me forward, and so we make our way from the rides area all the way back to the gardens. At Liev's suggestion, we take a shortcut. It's decidedly less populated than I was comfortable with, but there were still a good few people strolling about. Besides, for all his talk, Liev hasn't actually done anything to cause anyone any physical harm. I'm still a little on edge about him, but he does keep his word. This is nice. Don't you think so, Espoir? Yeah, it's quiet and much needed after that ride. Don't think about that now. Just relax. Breathe in the fresh air. Unless something's on your mind. Huh? No, I agree. I really needed this. Thanks, Liev. My pleasure. We simply walk down the path in silence, listening to the birds and the grasshoppers chirping in the distance. It takes me a few seconds to notice that Liev is no longer beside me. When I turn, he's standing behind me, an unreadable expression on his face. Let me just save. Hey, Espoir, can I ask you something? It's very important to me. Sure, what is it? Do you remember anything? Anything about... Uh-oh. Well, look who it is. Uh-ohs. You have a lot of nerve showing your face. The stranger's eyes rake shamelessly over me, and I fight the urge to cringe. Figured you'd have chicks all over you. They're suckers for the good boy act, eh? Uh-oh. Nothing to say? You backstabbing piece of crap. Of course someone like you would sell us out. Do you have any idea what you put me through? The guy, who I now recognize as one of the bullies, swings a heavy fist in Liev's direction. But Liev smoothly dodges him, so fast that the guy nearly loses his balance. Fluffing coward! His friend lunges forward, arms out to shove him. Liev is faster, pivoting away and leaving him stumbling. What the heck? Gripping his arm, Liev throws him aside as casually as if he were a rag doll. The guy lands hard on his butt, utterly stunned. I open my mouth to tell them to stand down, to warn him of the one coming from behind, but Liev is already reacting. The guy hooks his arm around Liev's head to put him in a chokehold, but he ducks just in time, elbowing him in the nose hard enough to draw tears. Then he kicks him in the solar plexus, knocking the air from his lungs and sending him to the ground. The last bully standing backs up, doing the smart thing and putting some distance between him and Liev. Heh, what's with you? Too busy sucking the teachers off to remember how to fight? He's kind of kicking your butts, guy. But then he turns to me. I see. You want to impress your little lady friend. Well, I don't blame you. What's your name, baby girl? You really settled for him? I bet it was for the money. Hey, do you not see how adorable he is? You bullied me. Don't come near me. Is that right? I'm so forgetful. Say, why don't you and I head back to my place so you can tell me all about it? And I can make it up to you all night long.
You, sir, are going to perish. You're in danger.
The bully laughs at the look on Liev's face.
Oh, hit a
Knife.
Liev lunges at him, wielding a switchblade, eyes blazing with uncontained rage.
I see nothing. I see nothing. Hey, that flower right there is really interesting. In fact, oh no, my glasses just came off. I can't see a thing. I don't even know any of the 4 people in front of me. I don't see a thing. I don't know a thing.
The bully freezes at the sight, looking like a deer in headlights.
Fluff! Fluff! Who's saying fluff, me or him?
What should I do? Surely I really did not appreciate his comments, but at this rate, Liev will...
Don't do anything.
I stand there as if rooted to the spot. In some way, maybe they do deserve what's coming, or so I keep telling myself.
I mean, my glasses came off. I can't see a thing, and that flower right there is really interesting.
The bully attempts to scramble away, but Liev is faster, holding an arm around his neck to keep him in place. His friends move to help him, but Liev holds the blade against the bully's throat in warning.
What's wrong? Go on, insult Espoir like you were doing just now.
The bully can only shake terribly in his grip, a far cry from the arrogant confidence from before.
What do you want from me? Let me go.
Espoir, look, I caught him. I caught the bad guy.
What do you want me to do now?
I open my mouth, but nothing comes out. I can't move. I can't speak.
I was having a good day, but you just had to come in and ruin it, didn't you?
Look, man, we can forget about everything, okay? Just let me go.
If only you'd left us alone, then we wouldn't be in this situation. I see now that people like you don't ever learn.
What are you...
Up.
The sickening crunch, followed by the bully's scream of excruciating pain, elits a visceral disgust within me, but I can't look away. Liev twists his arm behind his back to torture him further, the eyes shining with pure sadistic glee as he heaves out another cry of pain. The bully tries to struggle in his iron grip, but with a blade to his throat, there's not much he can do. His friends can only look in abstract horror as Liev continues to twist his arm into all sorts of unnatural angles, the cracking sounds of his bones echoing in the open forest.
All right, add that to the notes that Liev is insanely strong on top of being insanely fast.
Eventually he lowers the blade, coldly shoving the bully to the ground.
Consider yourself lucky I'm sparing your other limbs.
I tell myself not to look. I can't look. I can't. But then I do.
Ooh.
Any satisfaction I might have felt for his comeuppance is gone. I suppress the urge to vomit.
Well, don't start nothing.
The bully lays sprawled on the ground, eyes glassy and wide, not moving save for heavy, strained breaths. His friends crowd around him, checking that he's still conscious.
Hey, stay with me, man. We're gonna get you some help, all right?
He turns toward us, leveling me with a look of pure hatred, but it quickly melts into fear when he remembers Liev.
Just go. Get out of here. We'll call the cops.
I feel the instinctive urge to apologize, even though the damage is already done, but I stay silent, knowing that nothing I can say will change anything. Liev's pleasant smile doesn't change either, even as we hurry down the path until we're out of sight.
Did they see us at the arcade and follow us or something?
The silence is deafening. The garden is even emptier than it was during my confrontation with Liev. Recognizing that I'm not in the state of mind to talk, he doesn't try to start up conversation. There's remorse on his face, but I have a feeling it's not the kind I'm expecting.
He's probably just upset because I'm upset.
The flowers be darned. I need to sit down before I have another panic attack. I collapse onto the bench. A sudden lurch forces my body forward, mine replaying the memory of Espoir. Liev kneels down and catches me in his arms, but I slap them away. Don't touch me! I clamp a hand over my mouth and bury my head into my knees, holding back the urge to vomit. You just broke that guy's arm! You didn't even blink! Liev's brows are furrowed in concern, as if there's anything he can do to make it all okay.
I didn't have a choice, Espoir. He would have hurt you.
How can he remain so calm after what he's just done? I grip him by the shoulders, staring him right in the face. Didn't have a choice? He basically surrendered, and yet you still... Why, Liev? Why do these things? Why go so far? And don't give me that it's all for you bullcrap. I never wanted this, so be honest with me for once. Why? Liev's intensely fixated gaze takes on a hollowness, his eyes seeming to pierce my very soul.
It's as simple as that. Everything I've done has been for your sake. But I'm guessing you want a general answer, right? Something to explain why I am the way I am. The truth is, it's because I don't care. I can't. To me, other people's feelings have always been irrelevant. I know it might be hard to understand, Espoir. You're a kind, empathetic person. You care a lot about others. But think of it like this. You see all sorts of terrible things happen on the news every day. You might feel saddened, horrified, maybe even angry. But only for a moment. It doesn't directly affect you, after all. Most times you go about the rest of your day as normal. Now, I'm not trying to say you're a bad person. It's impossible to save everyone. You can only do so much. I'm saying that this is how I've felt every moment of every day of my life. Like I was watching everything happen from behind a screen. Like nothing actually mattered. Of course, that was until I met you. The only person who's real. The only person who ever... But when I fell in love with you, I had to acknowledge other people as real too. To acknowledge that they might take you away, that they might hurt you. That was the first time I ever felt compelled to do something. The first time I ever became so scared, so angry. I wanted to kill him. All of them. I still do. It took everything within me not to just slit his throat like a pig. I would do anything to keep you safe and happy, Espoir. Absolutely anything. If I had to murder the entire school for you, I would do it. Anything you need. Anything you want.
You could have gotten hurt too. You could have gone to prison. Do you really not care about that?
No, none of that matters. So as long as you're safe. And as for prison, don't worry. I can lie. I've done it many times before.
Did it really all just come back to me? Just why was he so obsessed? What could I have possibly done to trigger such intense, all-consuming feelings? Sometimes it just happens. Liev abruptly stands up, offering a hand. Hesitating a little, I take it, letting him pull me up. He simply stares at me for a while, expression unreadable. How long has it been that way?
For as long as I can remember, I guess. Long before I met you. In primary, things were completely different. I stayed away from the other kids, and so they all thought I was snobby. There was a boy who approached me and asked to be friends. He seemed intriguing, so I kept him around. I let him copy my notes. A surprise test came up on a topic I wasn't prepared for. He hadn't studied either, so he suggested that we should cheat. In my desperation, I accepted.
Somehow, this is the least shocking thing I've heard from him all day.
We thought we got away with it, But a few days later, the teacher started pulling students aside. Seems that a lot of other students had the same idea. I was frightened that she would change my grade or tell my parents if she found out, so I told on him. I pretended to be scared of him, that he had coerced me into letting him copy my notes. He ended up in trouble while I walked free.
I thought you guys were friends.
He thought so. It was his idea anyway, and he was just using me as well. Do you think I'm a bad person?
I don't know. I mean, I get it. Grades are super important to you, and you have a hard time trusting people. But if I were him...
I'm sorry, but he would have been a bad influence anyway. For all it's worth, I never cheated again.
If there's anyone he should be apologizing to, it should be that boy. But I doubt that's why he wanted to tell the story.
That's just how it was. I only ever did things for myself, until you became a part of my life. Even then, threats like that teacher, those guys, they had to be eliminated. I've never known any other way.
I see. In a strange way, I'm glad that he trusted me enough to talk about himself so honestly, without sugarcoating anything. At the very least, it helped me to understand him better. It doesn't erase what he did earlier, but...
Hey, Espoir, I won't do anything else to that guy, if that's what you want.
Really?
Yes, you matter the most. I can try to let it go.
Okay. Thank you, Liev. The train arrives soon. We should probably go. I don't think I want this on my mind any longer.
Wait, Espoir?
Yes?
Thank you. I know how difficult I can be, but I'm glad you still feel like you can be honest with me.
No problem. Somehow we managed to resolve the matter relatively peacefully. Traces of foreboding still lingered within me, that some small thing would cause him to snap again, that I would be frozen to the spot, unable to do anything. But those thoughts are soon overridden with anticipation to finally go home. And then it's time to leave. We depart the garden for the last time as the sun begins to dip into the horizon. We watch the train station with time to spare, so we decide to wait in the seating area facing the train tracks. In the distance, the late afternoon rays are already starting to fade into darkness. My parents always harped on about the dangers of staying out late, so the sight makes me a little uneasy. Considering everything I've seen today, it doesn't seem unlikely that something could happen. Then again, Liev had been with me, but do I really trust him to be my protector all the time? He seems like he wants to do the job. True, he had promised not to target the bullies anymore. Still, the memory of that guy's mangled arm is something I'll never be able to forget. Who's to say Liev's not capable of worse? There my thoughts go again. I'm so close to getting on the train home, so I need to stay calm. Because if Liev gets even the slightest inkling that I've started panicking again...
Espoir?
Yes?
You seem troubled.
Great. He's already noticed. It's nothing, just mentally replaying everything that's happened today. At least I'm mostly telling the truth. I squeeze the plushie on my lap, briefly sinking my face into its soft head. So, despite how I've been acting today, did you still enjoy our date?
Every single second.
That's good.
Did you enjoy it as well?
I'm unsure of how to answer. It was exhausting. My social battery is about to run out. I just want to go home, have dinner, then shut myself away in my room. Of course, that's after I make sure all of the doors and windows are locked. Despite that, this was the first time I really got to hang out with someone in a long while. Liev has done his best to be a good, considerate date, despite his various issues, and mine as well. I decided to focus on the good rather than the bad. I did. I don't have any real friends at school, which is kind of pathetic at my age. But more than that, I'm really happy I got to know you better, Liev.
Friend, is that all I am to you?
What? No, that's not what I meant. I meant that I'm glad we can both trust each other, like friends.
I never got to ask Espoir. Do you still like me?
There was the inevitable question, but that didn't make it easier to answer. I think back to my original plan, back when I had been so terrified I'd considered reporting him to the police. Liev, I still like you. I just can't believe you'd really want to stay with someone like me. Liev?
Espoir is so kind. I don't deserve her at all.
Thank you.
Espoir, there's something else. Something I wanted so badly to ask you earlier. I had so many things that I needed to tell you. But they got in the way. They tried to stop me.
What is going on? Calm down, Buki.
No one can get in the way. Espoir, tell me, do you remember the promise we made in year 5?
What promise?
Our promise to marry each other. To be together forever. Forever.
What? What are you talking about, Liev?
Don't tell me you forgot. After all this time, I still...
He cuts off and lets out an erratic laugh. Some disconcerting mix of excitement, apprehension, and mania. Liev? You're scared! You're scaring me! He suddenly pulls me in for an embrace, arms locked around me as if to keep me from escaping.
I missed you, Espoir. I missed you so much.
What? I don't understand. Marriage?
I know, but we don't have to get married now. I can wait. But engaged. Yes, we should get engaged as soon as possible. I almost forgot. I still need to...
He goes down on one knee, reaching into his pocket and pulling out a small velvet box. What is he doing? You know what he's doing, Espoir.
Espoir, I love you. I love you so much. I've loved you ever since we were kids. I would do anything to make you happy. You are my savior. You gave me a future when my world looked bleak. You gave me a reason to keep on living when nothing seemed to matter. All I ask for now is that you stay with me forever and ever and ever, and I will only be yours. Doesn't that sound perfect? Then you'll never be lonely again. It can just be the two of us for the rest of eternity. Espoir and Liev, Liev and Espoir, forever. Tell me, Espoir, tell me you want to be my wife. Espoir du Vide, will you marry me? Will you promise to be mine and mine alone?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna have to okay with that with my other fictional husbands. This isn't right. He isn't right. This is all moving way too fast. What possessed him to propose to me on the first date? Also, my train is like a minute away, dude. You couldn't have done this like before the roller coaster or something. Once more, I replay the events of the day in my mind. Had I said something that had given him the wrong idea? Had I been too lenient on him and now he believed that my feelings were just as intense? I mean, he's still pretty cute. Also, I built those affection points brick by brick. This is just as much my fault. Oh my god. Oh my god. What have I gotten myself into? Nothing good can come out of saying yes. At best, it would quell his obsession for a short while to know that I would be bound to him. I could keep up the act until I could hopefully convince him to get some help. At worst, I would be bound to him in a literal sense, having enabled his obsession. His paranoia would only get worse and worse and worse. Would he even let me go home afterwards? Oh, yeah. But the risks of saying no can't be ignored either. So what do I do?
You save your game, that's what you do. Accept, reject, try to put off. Well, you know what? I've been unrealistically nice this whole time. He's kind of cute, a little crazy, but still kind of cute. Sure, let's get married.
Maybe it would be best to accept, to resign myself to being stuck with him. Oh God, I'm signing the rest of my life away to some guy I've known for less than a day. No, I can't think of it like that. I'll have another panic attack. Again. I've stood by my decisions up until now, right? No matter how painful or awkward they might have been.
Are you saying you don't trust me, Espoir, in the game?
I should try to look at the bright side. Marrying the most popular, smartest, handsomest boy at school, who also happens to be rich, some people would kill to be in my position. And then Liev would kill them. In the most violent and gruesome way possible. I would be living with someone like that for the rest of my life. No, I'm overthinking this again. I have to be firm with my decision. This is the best option.
It's probably not the best option, but it's the one I chose.
The safest option.
Well, it's probably not the safest option, but it's the one I chose.
Taking a deep breath, I seal my fate.
Oh no, my husband is rich and handsome and obsessed with me, and he'll get me whatever I want. But then again, he is kind of a husk of a person who would kill people.
Liev, I'll do it. I'll marry you. Just promise me you won't hurt anyone anymore.
Say it again.
I'll marry you. I'll give you what you want, so as long as you promise you'll listen to me and get some help.
She said it. She said it. She said it. She said it.
He clutches his head in his hands, hunching over and letting out a screaming laugh that echoes against the open area. What have I done? My heart rate skyrockets against my palm as I clutch my chest, trying my hardest not to curl in on myself in terror. And then he jerks up, his bangs messily framing wide eyes and a psychotic grin.
Finally! I'm so glad, Espoir. I can't wait for our life together. We can talk about the wedding later, but for now, let's celebrate. Let's tell your parents. I'm sure they'll want to know all about it.
Uh-oh. I open my mouth to speak, but with my throat seized up, nothing but a pathetic croak comes out.
Espoir, are you okay? Please say something. You must be nervous. I understand. Don't worry. I'll back you up.
My family. Please don't hurt my family.
I wouldn't dream of it, of course. I know you'll want them at our wedding, after all. Of course, you understand what I'll have to do if they refuse, right? I can't let them ruin our happiness, Espoir. I won't. I'm sorry. But let's not focus on that. You have no idea how happy I am, Espoir. How much I've missed you. Gosh, we do have a lot to catch up on. But I suppose today was a good start. Say, your parents wouldn't mind you staying over tonight, right? I am your future husband, after all. Espoir?
Did I faint? Did I lose it?
You're crying. Are you that scared to tell them? I'll protect you. I will always protect you. Tell you what, why don't I go and talk to them? They won't be able to say no to me, after all. Because they won't have a choice.
Oh dear. His happy end. Okay. Oh no! Oh, the music's different. Oh, the music's creepy. Oh, it's all scary now. What's in extras? Unlocked 1 of 7 endings. Okie dokie.
Well, I'm going to stop here now. I think I've been sitting here for like 3 hours. I'm thoroughly disturbed, and I don't know if that was the best decision. I mean, usually I'm like stampeding for the wedding ring, but I think the main character here might be in quite a pickle. So if you would like to not miss part 2 of me playing this game, be sure to like, subscribe, or interact in any way that is comfortable for you, and ring the bell so that you get updates of my new uploads. And we're trying to make it to 100,000 subscribers so that I may obtain the shiny. But for now, let me know in the comments what you think about all these shenanigans and goings-ons. I'm gonna take a little break, and thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you for going on this date with me. Take care of yourself, have a great night, and remember, there is always hope.